How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 4 of the JMPRO2K Podcast, and I have two special guests with me this week. We have Halie Flynn, who has literally been making Donnie Dump's life a living hell in JMPRO2K over the last month, and then we got a very special guest, the owner and operator of Legacy World Wrestling, the one and only Eddie Vengeance. How you doing?
I'm just here so I don't get fined. Just here because my agent told me I had to do this.
Fair enough. And Hallie, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing amazing. I don't think I could be any better.
Perfect. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to start with Hallie. This past Saturday night on Showdown, it was set to be a triple threat match. Your wife, Rose Flynn, taking on Mia Galati and Jessica Porter. If one of Rose's opponents was to pin her, they were to get a championship opportunity in the future. And you made sure to shock the Jam Pro world, so to say, by coming out of nowhere and making it a tornado tag match, which you and Rose were victorious. I gotta say, Hallie, we were shocked to see you in the commentary booth, especially knowing that earlier that night you were up in Denver on Eddie's Legacy show, After Dark.
Yeah, Saturday was a busy day. I didn't just have the Clash that I had successfully reclaimed the women's title, but I was also booked for Revolve, and it just wasn't enough for me. I had enough energy to show up at least one more time within the day. And I figured, you know what, I got this loophole. It's opened. I'm going to take the chance of using it tonight, even though Donnie said, I'm not allowed to. So I said, what the hell? And I used my loophole that I have.
Well, I'm going to make this official announcement. Your wife, Rose, who is currently the Jam Pro Women's Champion, has accepted a challenge for the next episode at Friday Night Live in 2 weeks. She'll be taking on Ash Steel one-on-one in a steel cage. Do you worry at all that because of the cage, you will not be able to interfere or help Rose in any way?
No, steel cage or not, it doesn't faze me. I have a goal in mind. I'm doing what I have to fulfill this goal that I have set planned. Even Rose isn't aware of the plan, so if Donnie or yourself were to go and try to get it out of her, she has no idea what the goal is either. Worst I could do is probably just show up on the stage and wave to Ashley to get her attention. Am I going to do that? I don't know. Probably not, but we'll see.
All right, we're going to move right over. Mr. Vengeance, you had one hell of a successful show this past weekend. After Dark was a huge success. Everyone loved the Clash. Do you want to elaborate on what we can expect from Legacy going forward?
Well, I'm obligated to say that Legacy is probably the best show in the world. Don't quote me on that. Or you know what, you can quote me. Put it on the newspapers. But After Dark was good. Both clashes were successful. We had a lot of returns, a lot of debuts. One return in particular in the men's class, number 30, Aaron Bourne. Aaron Bourne will be on the road to Legacy 6. He will be making his official announcement, whether he's back full-time or whatever. But if he's not back full-time, you bet we will throw whatever we have to secure him be full-time. But it's up to him. But we have a show coming up in Dallas this weekend. I won't be there because why would I want to be there? I'm the owner. I got stuff to do, so I won't be there. I'll be there via satellite. But if you're a fan that's gonna be at the Dallas show, don't expect to see me there.
I'll be there in the back, hanging out.
Well, this wouldn't be the JMPRO2K Podcast if I didn't bring up the debut during the Clash that surprised a lot of people here in JMPRO. The JMPRO2K Executive Vice President showing up in the Clash. That was the biggest shock for me when I was watching the event. I gotta ask, Hallie, since you were obviously at the event, were you surprised to see Donnie Dumps walk into a Legacy locker room?
No, I think he's just trying to get in my head like I'm in his head. He's saying, oh, you got this loophole over here at JM Pro. You think you could pop up whenever, wherever. That's cute. I'm going to show you I can do the same thing. It's basically just him trying to mind game me when I've already mind gamed him. That's all it is to me. I'm happy Aaron eliminated him because that's what I was going for. I was in the back, saying, Aaron, get rid of him. When Aaron got rid of him, the locker room was ecstatic. We loved it.
And gotta ask you, Eddie, I mean, I don't know if it was just you or some other members of Legacy Management, but really what was involved in the reasoning of Legacy bringing in a guy like Donnie Dumps.
Like Donnie Dumps says, he brings ice wherever he's at. He has people tuning in to see him, to hear him. Every time you hear that "forget about it," you know it's something special. Everybody knows that we want the best of the best. We want the best prime athletes, the best larger-than-life entities, and Donnie Dumps, he's something special. He may be wearing a wife beater and some slacks, but he can do so much. He eliminated Trey Mercer. Donnie Dumps also eliminated the longest-reigning champion in history in Joe Crimson. So Donnie Dumps, he delivered on what I knew personally. I knew he was going to deliver. He was gonna give everybody the shocks. He was going to give everybody the surprise of a lifetime. He delivered, and I know he's going to deliver more in the future.
Well, you definitely did yourself justice there. You signed a special one. Big part of what we do here in JMPRO2K would not be possible. So shout out to Donnie Dumps, even though Hallie, I know you have a totally different relationship with him. Actually, moving forward to that, I mean, Hallie, you've done, since your debut in JMPRO2K to what you did just this past weekend in JMPRO2K, you've pretty much made a shocking appearance and entrance each time you've appeared on a JMPRO2K show. I mean, do you have any other tricks up your sleeve left?
I could possibly pull a few more. You know what they say, a magician never reveals his or her secrets. You know, you can't always clarify a magician is male or female. Both sexes can do it. But I might have something up my sleeve. You never know. I mean, I'm the savior, Halie Flynn. Anything's possible.
So, Eddie, going back to you, we'll talk a little bit more Legacy now. Just trying to keep it even here. The road to Legacy 6, what can we expect on that road?
There's a lot of matches that got set up this past weekend. One match including somebody right now also on this podcast, Halie Flynn. Halie Flynn versus Don Torres for Halie Flynn's newly acquired Women's World Championship. It's basically the Golden Girl of Outbreak versus the Golden Girl of Vengeance. Both these women came in practically at the same time in Legacy, and now we get to see who truly is the Golden Girl of all Legacy. We also have multiple World Championships. Mike Storm, who recently challenged for the 3-point World Heavyweight Championship against ZZ West. ZZ West, who has had a newfound attitude as of this past weekend. But we expect a lot of crazy stuff to happen on this road.
To be fair, real quick, if you don't mind me commenting on that as well. Me and Dawn, didn't we debut together in the same time in a triple threat? It was me, Dawn, and Roxana Quinn, and I got eliminated by Dawn. We came in at the same time, and now, like Yeti said, Golden Girl versus Golden Girl. Who can shine brighter? Tune in to Legacy 6 to find out.
Definitely going to be exciting to see how all that develops going forward. All right, Eddie, I got to ask, at After Dark, we all saw it. I want to hear your thoughts after Trevor Wolf getting the elimination on you this past weekend.
I don't know why he took it upon himself to try to target me in that match. I don't know why. I think it has to do something with last year on the road to Legacy 5. I kept on demanding to be put into the junior heavyweight title match, and I kept on telling him, well, you got to beat this one person. You have to beat this guy. He kept on losing. He sees me as a threat, so he wanted to eliminate me. I don't see him as a threat. I just see him as a guy who, he's not cut out to be a top guy. I've said it before. I've been publicly vocal with this multiple times. Trevor Wolf is not the guy. He's not a guy you can build a division on. He's not a guy you can put in the main event and be a main event guy. He's just another guy. I don't know why other promotion owners try to see him as a guy. In my eyes, he ever since he came into this business, ever since he blew up into the scene, I don't see anything special in the kid. No potential. He's just another body on the roster. He tried to make a name for himself this weekend, but as you saw, he eliminated himself. The idiot eliminated himself. He could have made a name for himself if he would have won the match, but he saw a target in me. He saw me as a threat, but Trevor Wolf took it upon himself to try to make a statement, try to make a name for himself. but I'm here to clarify. He didn't make a name for himself. He just embarrassed himself in the Pepsi Center on Saturday night. And if he tries to show his face in Dallas, like I said, I'm not gonna be there. But if he wants to go out to the ring, try to stir the pot, you better believe that I'll have a little surprise for him waiting. So yeah, Trevor, if you're hearing this, don't show up to Dallas. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, strong words there from the legacy owner, Eddie Vengeance. And honestly, the one thing I do want to talk about with you, Eddie, before I got just a few questions left for Hallie, and then we'll probably wrap this up. But one thing that's come to some people's attention, it's something that us at JMPRO have adopted. Everyone knows this community that we're in as the core community, but because of you and what you've been doing over at Legacy, we've adopted the term virtual pro wrestling. Do you want to elaborate and kind of let us know where you came up with that? Because us at JMPRO will gladly admit that we adopted that phrase from you.
Well, it's the way I see it. Calling it the community, it makes it sound like a joke, plain and simple. It makes it sound like a joke. It makes it sound like it's just this mediocre community where it's just a bunch of grown men who can't wrestle in real life, who want to sit around in their basement playing video games all day. But when you put the term virtual pro wrestling, it makes it sound more sophisticated, more formal, more official. I'm pretty sure WWE Games and WWE and all these other pro wrestling companies, they don't want to be associated with this thing called the community. They want to be associated with something formal, something sophisticated, something that sounds legit. And virtual pro wrestling, the virtual pro wrestling community, the virtual pro wrestling industry, there's a lot of virtual pro wrestling promotions such as JMPRO, Legacy, UVWA, even though it's been publicly known that the management at UVWA and the management at Legacy have never seen eye to eye, but we can all agree that virtual pro wrestling is a more sophisticated, more formal way to refer to what we do. Some people may say that it makes us sound a little too full of ourselves and a little too snobby, but ain't no shame in saying that we're better than everyone else, because we are better than everyone else. We've ran the best shows in months. We're consistent. We put product out. We put content out for the viewers, for the fans of virtual pro wrestling. Sounds more formal, and I look forward to seeing more intelligent and actual intellectual individuals actually adapt it instead of denouncing it and saying it's just terrible, because it's more formal and more sophisticated.
I know when I first used the reference in front of Donnie, we were at a JMPRO2K board meeting, and he loved it, and I think the number one word that was used after hearing it was it just sounded a lot more professional. And I think that's why us at JMPRO2K, we're adopting it as well, just because everything we try to do we try to be as professional as possible, even though you wouldn't always get that impression with Donnie Dumps on commentary, but that was really the reason we wanted to adopt it, was just to be a lot more professional in the end of it. Hallie, what were your thoughts on the term?
I agree with Eddie 125%. It does make us sound more professional, more like we know exactly what we're doing. Because running around saying, "Oh, I'm part of the community," it just sounds like a group of 12-year-old little kids sitting there on the colorful carpet in kindergarten, wanting to pass around a box of crayons and coloring books. So I agree with it, honestly.
All right. Well, moving right along, Eddie, we'll get back to you for some plugs at the end here. I just got a few more questions for Hallie, and then we're going to wrap this up, all right? I know everyone's busy and they got stuff to do, so. One question that we've constantly got about your appearance on JMPRO2K here in Season 4 is a lot of people know your relationship with Rose. What made Season 4 be the season where you finally showed your face in a JMPRO2K arena?
Well, I'm just going to start at the top of the list. And it's not a very big list to begin with. But the top of the list is my wife left Season 3 as champion and is starting Season 4 as the champion. So I made my own, like I said previously, I made my own little deal with myself, and I'm sticking to it. And there's been a few times in Season 3 where things didn't exactly go her way, or according to plan. So this season, Season 4, I'm making sure it's smooth sailing. What we have planned, it goes through. No ifs and buts about it. So, I mean, people, I've also been told that, oh, you're a baby face elsewhere, which makes you a heel over here because you're married to Rose. Well, I mean, if me doing a goal and not seriously injuring anybody makes me a heel, well, then I guess, I'm guilty.
And going forward with you continuously supporting Rose and JMPRO2K, can we ever expect for you to actually sign a contract, even if it is only for just one match? And if so, do you have anyone in mind you would want that opponent to be?
It would probably be Ashley Gomez because she runs her mouth a lot about, to me in different places. I think a lot of people thought I was going to say Ember. No, nothing against Ember or anything. It's just Gomez has been running her mouth. And what's funny about that, it's funny that you bring that up, honestly, because after the show Saturday, someone from the back came to me with the pen and paper, and I've done what I did what I always do, and just threw it over my shoulder, and I just walked away. Like, no, I'm not signing that. Get out of here with that. I have a loophole. Like, if I want to show up in a ring, which I have twice, there's been a lot of lecture from a few of the employees going, oh, well, Hallie, you show up, but you don't step in the ring. I stepped in the ring to screw Mia out of her match with Rose, and I stepped in the ring this past Saturday. So if you people haven't realized I've stepped in the ring twice, like what exactly are you watching? Are you like reverse? Like, what are you doing? Please enlighten me on what you're doing by not seeing me in the ring, not once but twice.
All right. Well, we're gonna move right along to one more question I have for you. Honestly, everyone knows now that you're obviously an in-ring competitor. You've been for a very long time. But you're also running Rage's NXG brand. Do you want to, elaborate on that more? The things that maybe NXG's coming up with that you might want to announce, anything like that?
I've talked to the head brand, Revolve, which is ran by Aaron, and he said that there's going to be a Japan tour. And this is my first time running a show. I've always had a dream, a goal to run a show, whether it's with me or someone, a friend. And so I asked him, I said, does NXG have to go? He said, well, if you and your girls want to go, yeah, you can. So I talked to them, and they're hyped. They're all excited for it. So then we got to talking to, am I going to have to put on my own show? Can we bunk off of him since it's the first, pay-per-view in a while? And he said, it's totally up to you. We can do a lot of different things. We can let your girls go first, show them what the rookies can do. And then we can let the pros go, or we can let the pros go and then let the rookies, show what they've got. Or we can go back and forth, rookies, pros, vice versa. So it's still in the works. It's not exactly set in stone yet on what we're going to do, but it should be exciting and entertaining to see either way.
And with that being said, I mean, you're now involved helping Rose and JMPRO2K. You re-debuted in Legacy. You're now a champion over there. You're running NXG for Rage. You're also heavily involved in the competitive racing industry. Like, how do you find time for everything? How do you keep everything organized day to day?
Well, JM Pro is bi-weekly, so I have that window. 1 week, I go with Rose, and then the next week we have off, and so on. Thursday is NXG, so I make sure the show gets basically pre-recorded Monday, so I have everything set and ready to go by Thursday. And when I'm not booked on Legacy or really doing anything else, I'm here, I'm there, I'm a little bit everywhere, racing it and laying it down.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate both you for joining us here on the JMPRO2K podcast. Just to finish it off, give every guest an opportunity to plug social media, announce any future events that they want people to check out. Hallie, since you just had the last question, we'll start with you and end with Eddie.
All right. Well, I'm currently Hallie 3 Belts. That's the new nickname going around. Not to, toot my own horn or anything. But my Instagram's flynn.hallie. And there's really not much else to go on about that.
All right. And Eddie, any social media tags or events that you want to push or promote?
Well, as you guys may know, we're on the road to Legacy 6. Legacy 6 on April 3rd. You guys can catch Legacy on Instagram at legacy_world_wrestling. Check us out. For those who don't follow us, watch some actual real virtual pro wrestling. Don't just be an elite pro, but watch wrestlers making a legacy.
Well, once again, I'm the only JM. I was here with Halie, Flynn, and Eddie Vengeance, the owner of Legacy. Everything JMPRO related, you can catch us on Instagram and Twitter at JMPRO2K, and you can check out our official website, www.jmpro2k.com. This has been episode 4 of the JMPRO2K Podcast, and we will catch you again here in 2 weeks with another 2 guests. Thank you, and have a great night.